What is up? What is up, folks? We are back. Yes, it is time. It is time to make our weekly picks. Hi, how's it going? It is NFL week number 5. Meet on the 50 time. We are on. We are on to week number 5. We got some teams on bye this week. So, it's kind of a small week in terms of teams. And then we're going across the pond to London. Yeah, the first early morning London game being brought to us in week number 5. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. So without further ado, let's start the show. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yes, it is NFL week number 5. Yes, it is Meet on the 50 time. Yes, the sports guys are back to give you our weekly pick. Hi, how's it going? I am Jacob Keller, one half of the sports guys. And as always, joining me to pick these games, to break down the action, to give some of our thoughts, our analysis. He brings the fire. He brings the heat, right? He is none other than Mr. Brandon Sullivan. Brandon, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, good week, Jake, obviously with picks, last week and hoping to kind of continue to build off of that. Obviously, we want to the goal is to try to, get a better record than we did last season. So I think we're, starting to turn things around a little bit. The start of the season is always a little shaky. It's hard to kind of determine which direction teams are going to go. But I think as we get to week 5, week 6, week 7, we really start to get a feel for what some of these teams are going to do. So I'm pretty confident in the picks coming up this week.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, we started off. It just kind of had to get the wheels turning a little bit, and then once we got the wheels turning, we've been rolling. Yeah, the last 2 weeks have been solid in terms of picking. How solid, you ask? Well, let's just remind them. Let's just put it up on the screen. Yes, last week for yourself, 12-4, 1-0 on your guaranteed victory. The Niners. If I'm not mistaken, the Niners getting the job done as your guaranteed victory, solidifying, not even making it a question, just going in there and handling business. For myself, 11-5, another solid week, but 0-1 on my guaranteed victory because it was just an absolute meltdown in the Meadowlands with the New York Jets. Absolutely letting me down. Overall for the season, that puts us at, all right, for Brandon, 38-26, 2-2 on his guaranteed victories. For myself, 36-28. 2-2 on my guaranteed victories. So, like I said, we are moving in the right direction. Let's wipe those off the screen because it is time. It is time to get into it, and it is time for, of course, it's none other than quick picks. Yes, let's get it up on the screen. Our quick picks for this week. Oh, boy, starting us off. Yes. Yeah, we're going across the pond. Cheerio, crumpets and tea. Oh, Chuck, right? All that good stuff. We're going across the pond. We got the first London game, which means it's going to be at a nice 6:30 a.m. in the morning for those Pacific Coast people. Gotta love it. Got to love it. You got the New York Jets traveling to London to take on the Minnesota Vikings, who are also traveling to London. Jets, Vikings, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I got to roll with the Vikings here. The Vikings, they had a solid week last week, and then obviously the Jets couldn't figure out how to score if their life depended on it. So I'm going to pick the team that's been rolling, so I'm going with Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm honestly right there with you. I'm going to go with the Vikings. Although, looking it up today, the worst pass defense in the NFL. So, they're going to have to definitely tighten that up. If they want to keep this roll, like this momentum moving forward. But yeah, we're going to go with the Minnesota Vikings to get the job done there in London against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. I don't think the Jet season are over, but I think the Vikings continue to roll. Our next quick pick game, moving on to our actual Sunday morning, we got the Carolina Panthers traveling to Chicago to take on the Chicago Bears. What do you got for me?
Yeah, this is a tough one because I think both teams are bad. So I'm just going just based off of Chicago being at home. So I'm gonna roll Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, this game is a bad game. So if you're going with Chicago, I'm going to go with Carolina. I think that the NFC South division is going to be a little bit more competitive than we think. So with that being said, we're going to go with the Carolina Panthers. I don't know why, to get the job done there in Chicago. Our next quick pick game, we got the Minnesota. We got the Miami Dolphins traveling to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. What do you got for me?
Yeah, but this is another really bad game.
1-3 versus 1-3.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick New England just based solely off of them being at home and the fact that Miami's been playing terrible. So I'm just gonna go with New England on this one.
I like it. It's going to be an opposite week. I like it. This is going to be a good head-to-head week. I'm rolling with the Miami Dolphins. I think Tyler Huntley getting another week of action, getting another week in that system is only going to make him better. He did have some really good outings when he was on the Baltimore Ravens replacing or backing up Lamar Jackson when he got hurt. So I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins getting the job done. Moving on, we got the Cleveland Dukies traveling to, I can't believe it. I can't believe they're actually dominating. They're traveling to the former dumpster fire franchise of the entire world. They're taking on the Washington Commanders. Dukies, Commanders, what do you got for me?
Yeah, this one's easy for me. I got the Washington Redskins winning this one. I think they blow them out. So yeah, I got Redskins.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, 1-3 versus 3-1. I mean, the Commanders. This could be a trap game for the Commanders with how they're rolling. It wouldn't be super crazy for Deshaun Watson to put together a good outing and win a game, but I'm going to go, definitely with the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels continue to roll, sending the Commanders to 4-1. Moving on, we got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to the winless Jacksonville Jaguars. What do you got for me?
I think this one could go either way just because Jacksonville's at home, but I'm gonna pick Indianapolis on this one. I don't really care what the quarterback situation is. I do think they win this game.
This one's gonna be an interesting game. Like you said, I'm gonna go with Jacksonville to get their first victory of the season. They can't lose forever, especially with that roster. They might, but I'm gonna go with Jacksonville here. I'm gonna pity Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to give him some of the blessings. So we're going to Jacksonville to get the win there at home. Moving on to our afternoon quick pick games. And unfortunately, again, they are all quick picks. We got the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to the Mile High city of Denver to take on, dare I say, the rolling Denver Broncos. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Denver here. I do think Denver's going to win this game. They are at home and they've been playing very well. So as far as defensively. And I think that's going to be, with Devontae not playing, the Raiders I think they're going to struggle a little bit. So I actually picked up the Broncos defense on fantasy. I just because both of the teams that I have for defensively are going to struggle. So I'm going to go ahead and roll with Denver.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Raiders. I got to roll with the squad. Even though no Devontae Adams, clearly he will not be a Raider for long. I'm going to roll with the Las Vegas Raiders getting the job done there in Denver to salvage. We could say it's salvage at this point. Salvage that season. Our next quick pick game, we got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Santa Clara to take on the San Francisco 49ers, game that you will be at. What do you got for me?
Yeah, excited to be at the game for sure. It's been a minute since I've been at just any football game. So it'll be fun. Pretty good seats. Obviously, I'm in the club section. So but the weather, I know it's going to be a little warm. But, San Francisco is going to be tough to beat at home this year. They are just in general a tough team to beat at home. So I'm going to go with the guaranteed victory. I'm going to roll with my Niners again this week.
Oh, okay.
With a guaranteed victory. I think we beat the Arizona Cardinals pretty handily.
I like it. Yeah, okay. Believing in the squad 2 weeks in a row. I like it. This is kind of a make it or break it game for the Arizona Cardinals, right? Niners sitting at 2-2, Cardinals 1-3. 2-3 as opposed to 1-4. It's a big difference. It's a big difference rolling into the season. So Niners looking to get to 3-2. I do think that they get the job done. I have the Niners advancing and getting the victory there at home. Our next quick pick game, we got the Green Bay Packers traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Oh man, yeah. I mean, it's a rough 2-2 for the Packers, 1-3 for the Rams. What do you got for me?
Yeah, the Rams are just going to struggle this year. I mean, with the absence of, losing Aaron Donald, I don't think that hole is going to be filled this year. So, and they obviously have injuries left and right. So
Yeah,
I got to roll with Green
Puka.
Bay here. Yeah, I think Green Bay dominates.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, the Rams are dealing with a plethora of injuries. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, right? They're losing Aaron Donald. Clearly, that defense is not the same. Kieran Williams, pretty much the only bright spot amongst, and Tutu Atwell at times, but Kieran Williams, pretty much that only bright spot there on the Rams offense. While the Packers, I mean, that Packers defense is quite electric. They force turnovers, they get turnovers, and they go after the ball. Jordan Love coming off the knee injury in that game against Minnesota, right? Started off rough, but I mean, they were in it till the end. So I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers handling business on the road against the Rams. Our next game, we got the New York Giants traveling to Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I mean, Seattle, like I said, that they're not as good as everybody's hyping them up to be, but I do think they're better than I thought they were. Playing at home, I do think that gives them the advantage. I don't trust this New York Giants team. They're just very consistent. So I would love for New York to win, but I got to roll Seattle here. I do think Seattle wins this one, by 10 points or more.
Yeah, I like you said. I mean, this one obviously you kind of want. Well, not kind of. You want the New York Giants to win the game. I mean, not only for it to help out the Niners, but just because the hatred for the Seahawks, right? It's always nice to see them lose at home, especially to a team like the Giants, who haven't scored a touchdown in 2 games this season. That's crazy. We've only played 5, so it's pretty crazy. Yeah. But I'm going to go with what you're thinking. Seattle Seahawks. I mean, it's one of those games that could be one of those trap games where the Giants come in and they're kind of electric. Yeah. But we'll go with the Seahawks. Because I just Seahawks. Enough said. Our next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys on display for the world to see on Sunday night about how bad they are. We got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Pittsburgh, the Steel City, to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you got for me?
One thing that stands out about this game to me is they are not playing at home. I mean, they usually play all 17 games at home. So True. The fact that the Dallas Cowboys are traveling, that is very strange. Probably won't be able to catch much of this because this is after 49ers game and I'll be on the road. But I got to roll Dallas here. I do think that they linger generally. So they kind of hang around a little bit. I just don't believe in Pittsburgh. And maybe it's the quarterbacking situation. I just don't. So I got to pick Dallas here.
That's fair. I mean, Dallas needs a big victory here. It's a good response without Micah Parsons, good response without D-Law, right? DeMarcus Lawrence. It's a big game. This is a big game for Dallas. It's kind of a big game for Pittsburgh because, I mean, if they lose this game, my hot take may become incorrect. We might see Russell Wilson step on that field and take over the starting quarterback duties for the Pittsburgh Steelers there if Justin Fields is not able to make some magic happen. Honestly, if I could pick neither of these teams, I would. But I'm going to go with the Steelers just to make things interesting this week. So we're going to go with the Steelers getting the job done at home on Sunday Night Football. And moving on to Monday night. Our last game of the week and our last quick pick, we got the New Orleans Saints traveling to Kansas City to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you got for me?
I got the Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs guaranteed victory. All righty, moving on. Yes, we're going all the way back to Thursday night. What a game. What a game to kick off our week. I'm really fired up about this division just because all these teams, to me, are all relatively the same in terms of talent and skill-wise. No one really is kind of separated themselves from the pack yet. So kicking us off for our week, well, before I even do that, on bye, let me not get too far ahead of myself. On bye this week, we got the Lions, the Titans, the Eagles, and the Chargers. You fan bases, relax, take a break, take a breather. Your team's not playing. All right, kicking us off for Thursday, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or I like to call them, the Baker Bay Buccaneers. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Atlanta, hot Atlanta, to take on the Atlanta Falcons. The Captain Kirk-led Atlanta Falcons. What do you got for me to kick us off for our week?
Yeah, we already saw the game, so spoiler alert. But I had picked the Bucs. I thought that
we did.
They were gonna. Yeah, I thought that they were going to. They should have won the game, honestly. Obviously, there was some mistakes at the end of the game, but they were in the driver's seat to win the game, and there was I think it was like a 7% chance or something for the Falcons to win once they got a first down at the end. So I believe in Baker. So I still do. This game doesn't really change my perspective. I think that I'm still picking Tampa Bay to win the division, but like you said, what a game.
Yeah, I was rolling with the Buccaneers for sure. I thought after last week, I know Atlanta got that victory there in New Orleans, a tough victory there in New Orleans. But I thought the victory there in Tampa Bay against the Eagles was far more impressive. And I thought the momentum that Baker had coming into this game could propel them potentially to a big victory. But what we were dealt with was probably one of the best games of the season, or what was the best game of the season so far. And it stamps my claim that this division is going to be a fun division to watch. I mean, that game last week between Atlanta and the Saints ending in, 2 points, right? 26-24, if I'm not mistaken. And then this game, went to overtime. And Atlanta was spoiler, right? Yeah, like Brandon said, Atlanta getting the job done, by 6, like scoring in overtime. These games are going to be close. These games are going to be close. And I was telling Brandon before we started recording, in my opinion, I would not be surprised if maybe not 7-9. I was a little bit overzealous, but I would not be surprised if the Carolina Panthers went, 5-12 or 6-11. But they competed, and they competed against this division. So you compete best against your divisional opponents because you see them the most. But yeah, Brandon and I both were picking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game. They put up one hell of a fight. Baker Mayfield, continues to impress me game in and game out. And same thing with Kirk. Kirk
4 touchdowns.
Man,
aside from that pick, he played perfectly.
He played perfectly. And before I forget, I would say I'd save it for the end of the show. But before I forget, something that was posed to me was what it must be like for some of these receivers to finally have just a good quarterback, someone who knows how to play the position. Drake London was dealing with Desmond Ridder for the last 2 seasons. Taylor Heineke, just a bunch of retread, mediocre. Mariota. Yeah, Marcus Mariota. He actually gets a quarterback in there, and Kirk is just dealing him the ball, right? 12 receptions for over 150 yards with the touchdown. You're getting a little bit of a review mixed in with the picks episode here. But yeah, the Atlanta Falcons 100% are the real deal. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 100% the real deal. So I'm very excited to watch that division continue to roll on throughout the season. Our next game, moving on to Sunday morning, we got a massive divisional game this week. We got the Baltimore Ravens coming off just an absolute domination on the ground. Just an absolute domination on the ground with Derrick Henry in the last game. They're traveling to the jungle. They're traveling to Paycor Stadium. They're traveling to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. What do you got for me?
I'll say this. I'm not talking postseason. I'm not directly making the playoffs. I'm talking about if the Bengals, and I'm going to come out and say this directly, they're 1-3.
Yeah.
If they have any hopes at winning the Super Bowl this year, because every team, that's your aspiration. I don't care if it's week 4 or if it's week 10.
Yep.
You cannot drop to 1-4. You could still make the playoffs and you could be a wild card, but you're not going to win 3 games on the road and then win the Super Bowl. So if you have any hope at potentially winning the Super Bowl, you have to win this week. I'm going to roll with the Bengals. Obviously, I don't
Okay.
like Ravens, so that
True.
helps
True.
influence that pick.
True.
The Bengals are at home. Joe Burrow has been playing very well. Jamar Chase is heating up. Um, I think it's going to be a very close game. And I think that a mistake, a Lamar Jackson mistake or a Derrick Henry mistake is going to cost the Baltimore Ravens the game. I hope I am not wrong. I hope that it doesn't go the other way where the Bengals fumble the bag and the defense gives up 1,000,000 yards. So I'm rolling with Joey B and the Bengals this week, but very reluctantly. Part of me wanted to pick the Ravens, but I just can't. I got to roll with the Bengals here. But if they lose this game, I've lost faith in the fact that they can contend for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, you hit a lot of good points. This is their first big test. I mean, Kansas City obviously was a test, but this is the first big test, right? You have the Ravens who come in. They're struggling. They are not top tier where they want to be. Now that run game is starting to pick up. I mean, Derrick Henry going for $150 in that one game, and then almost 200 yards last time, 199. I mean, Derrick Henry's heating up, right? The only thing is Lamar Jackson's only thrown the ball a total of 33 times, I think it was, in the last 2 games. So they're not throwing the ball. They're clearly running the ball. Now, Derrick Henry is stoppable when he's playing the Bengals. When he's not playing the Bengals, unstoppable. I mean, he's the best running back in the NFL. But when he's playing the Bengals, he's stoppable. Because our defense is going to step up this week and get the job done. We're going to cause some fumbles. We're going to hit him at the line. And we're going to play some damn defense. Right? I was telling Brandon before the show, the Baltimore Ravens defense, 29th in pass defense in the NFL right now. So they're getting absolutely shredded through the air. Well, this team was built to throw the ball. They were built for the air, right? So this is a perfect game. Now, the Bengals can lose, and you know, they're not going to. They're going to beat the Ravens. But this could be a massive yardage game, a master monster yardage game in terms of Joey, T. Higgins, Jamar, Yosavash, Gesicki, Chase Brown. This could be a massive yardage game. So, I do see the Bengals obviously getting the job done. First divisional game. It's a big game. I mean, it's a big game. This is going to really, like you said, this is going to really decide which way the season's going to tilt for both these teams. So either the Bengals lose this game and have to win every single game for the rest of the season, or the Bengals win this game and the Ravens now are forced to win every game for the rest of the season. Massive implications this week. I got the Bengals getting the job done. They're at home. And then our last game that we're going to talk about is our final game of the morning. It's the Buffalo Bills traveling to Houston to take on the Houston Texans. Another massive game. What do you got for me?
Yeah, this is a huge game. I would have liked to see this on Monday night instead of the Chiefs and the Saints. Hopefully that game is entertaining. But, Buffalo needing a big bounce back victory, obviously, from last week. That was a poor performance. We said it was a terrible performance. They didn't even know I feel like they were lost. So we get a chance to see if Buffalo is as inconsistent as we thought, or we get a chance to see if that was just a fluke and, it's just a game, any given Sunday type game. And then we come back the next week and we build off of that. So that's what I think that they're going to do. Wouldn't be surprised if Houston won this game. Obviously, Houston is a good team. Yeah. But I do think Buffalo is going to win this game. Josh Allen, I think, will have a big day. So I think it's going to be close, just like a lot of these games this week. But give me Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, man, this game is going to go back and forth, I believe. I think it's going to be shot for shot. I think haymaker for haymaker, jab for jab. I mean, this game should be good, right? Josh Allen, right, like you said, coming off that just, I mean, piss poor performance by the entire team. But I mean, it was just a bad performance overall, against that Ravens team. And then the Texans, I mean, they did not look impressive against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, they did have to come back in that game. That comeback was impressive, but the overall play was not. I mean, CJ Stroud struggled early on in that game and then was able to come on late. But and the Texans without Joe Mixon, much different team. I mean, they do not have a running game if it's not Joe Mixon out there, and he hasn't been able to be out there. He's questionable for this game. So he was able to be out there. That is a big, big help for the Houston Texans. We're going to keep it interesting. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans this week. I think the Houston Texans send the Buffalo Bills to 3-2, and I think the Houston Texans continue to heat up, roll on. CJ Stroud getting the job done. Nico Collins, another massive performance. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll keep it interesting. We're going to go with the Houston Texans getting the job done there at home. That's going to do it. That is going to do it for this edition of Mean on the 50. Yes, our picks episode is done. All that is left is for the action to be played in 99% of these games, because one game has already happened and it was phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, go watch the highlights. I mean, we are on to week 5. I am excited for this action. No, Brandon is excited for this action. He's going to be actually at the action, getting a little taste of this season. Right? Seeing some live football in person, nothing like it, nothing better, right? I mean, especially as a sports fan, we got everything we can want. We got everything we want. A solid divisional matchup for the both of us. One against the Cardinals, one against the Ravens. Big implications for both games and how the rest of the season could possibly turn out. Brandon, any last words for the people?
Yeah, like you mentioned, I'm going to be in the house. Obviously excited to go to the football game. Just like being in that environment. So hoping I'm praying that we're able to win while I'm there. We advance to 3-2.
Yeah, I'm the same thing, but I need to advance to 2-3. So both teams need massive wins this week. We're obviously the Raiders also need a massive win, right? They're like our redheaded stepchild. We love them, but we love them sometimes from afar just because of some of the God.
I don't know about we, maybe you.
Well, you have admired them sometimes from afar, not crazy. I'm not going to put it out there.
I admired Max Crosby.
There we go. You admire some players on the team. So,
it would be right of me to how that rivalry goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate them, but I can't sit back anymore and say it.
But yeah.
It's
not a rivalry anymore, thanks to Mark Davis and the Oakland politicians. But that's a story for another day. That is a story for another day. Bengals, Niners, we need big victories. That is going to do it for this edition of Mean on the 50. I am Jacob Cutler, one half of the Sports Guys. He is Brandon Sullivan, the other half of the Sports Guys. And until our review episode, you know what we like to do. Brandon and Jake, wrap.